Hi, hope you guys are well. Today is Sunday the 20th, I believe, of April. And I know in the future I will have to buy another car. My car is doing just fine. I have a 2009 Hyundai Sonata with like 236,000 miles. I've had that car since 2011. Excuse me, October of 2011. I paid it off within 2 years, I think it was. I put like 7,000 down, and then I had a remaining balance of like 3,000. It was 10,000 to get the car, so I put 7,000 down. And at that point, I wanted to pay the car off, but because I recently filed for bankruptcy, they were like, well, it was like a year after me filing for bankruptcy. They were like, just to build your credit, yeah, put a large chunk down, but get a loan so you can build back up your credit. So that's what I did. My bills or the monthly rate was like $140 per month, which was good. So yeah, it's been paid off since like 2013 or 2014. Don't quote me. Um, so yeah, I love my car. As if you guys don't know, if you're new because of this video, my car has been good. It's been really reliable, but there's the small things, right? And I pay attention to my car. If something doesn't feel right, I will get it looked at. So that's what I do. My car has never left me stranded or anything like that. Like recently, I had like my oil just kept leaving really fast. In my head, I thought it was like my engine's gonna go soon. Sometimes your engine starts to consume gas really fast. That could be a bad thing, right? So that's what I was thinking. But after a while, and more recently, I was smelling like burning oil. Sure enough, there was an oil leak. So I looked and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of oil like in the back behind like the engine. See, I pay attention to my car, y'all. So anyways, I brought it in. Obviously, I got that fixed. And then you figure even recently, within the past like 6 months, in my car, I put like 4,000 into my own car. I did get like new brakes and rotors. I got some struts done. There's other videos on that, of course. I like to share these things because even in my family, people are just like, go get a new car. New cars have issues too. New cars have issues too. So that's my car. So let's talk about my son's car. So I bought a car back in, what was it, 2020, 2021? I think it was 2020. And anyways, for that, I was just like, okay, I wanted a family car. My son was just turning like 16. This is our third year having the car. So he was like 15. And my whole thing was having a family car would be good. Once he gets his license, at least he can drive that, the newer car. It has a little bit of good features. So it's nothing fancy. It's a 2000 Hyundai Kona. The only like special things that it has on there is the blind spot, as well as it has heated seats, and most cars come with Apple and Android CarPlay, whatever you want to call it. My whole thing was I wanted a car that was going to be a nice price. So my car has been paid off for like over 10 years, right? When I got my son's car, I was working at my previous job for 9 years, and then abruptly, after I got my son's car, no joke, I quit my full-time job just because I was going through a lot of stuff mentally. But in my head, I'm like, I can still do this. The payments were like $250 per month, right? And my whole goal was to pay it off within one at least 1 to 2 years. And we paid it off within less than 2 years. It was like shy by like 2 months of 2 years. So I followed through with it, even after I quit my full-time job, you guys. And yeah, I'm super, like, I don't think of my accomplishments much, but it was a huge accomplishment. So you figure when I got the car, it had like 53,000 miles on there. The price was six basically $14,000, but that's before taxes and everything. When I had got the car, I did add on a warranty, which I ended up canceling and getting a reimbursement. Just so you know, if you ever do purchase like a car warranty, you do have a certain amount of time to cancel it. And I did that. I did it all by email. I didn't go back into the shop, to the car dealership to cancel. I emailed them. I'm like, hey, I don't need this. It was like what, like $3,000 worth. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, if something goes wrong, I'm pretty sure I can just get it fixed for less than that. I don't expect anything to go wrong for a while, right? Well, we've had it for what, 2 years, 3 years now, and no issues, regular wear and tear, right? Like brakes and rotors. So yeah, that's it. That's it. So yeah, I canceled that. I did get gap insurance. So if you guys don't know, gap insurance is basically an extra insurance in case, like, you get in an accident, your car book value is $10,000, but you owe $14,000. So if your car gets totaled and your bank only, your insurance only gives you book value of $10,000, you're still on the hook of $4,000. So you will still pay on that 4,000, right? So no, I ended up getting gap insurance. I never got gap insurance with my previous car. But you figure that was a long time ago, and I was paying it off soon, right? But for this one, I was like, yeah, I'll get gap insurance because obviously I had a loan. Now for this one, I think I had like a 60-month loan, or yeah, I think it was like a 60-month loan. And once again, the payments itself were $246. I'll say 250. So this is all to say, my logic with a lot of things in life, right? It's not just the initial cost, it's the cost of owning. So think of it this way. New cars, yes. My son is a 2018. We got it what, in 2020? Yeah, 2020, right before like the pandemic had hit. It was in March. Yeah, March. Or was it 2021? Don't quote me. I got videos, but my whole logic is, yes, it is a family car, but eventually I do want to give it to my son. So in my head, I'm like, I want a smaller like SUV, um which this is, cuz even for myself, I want a SUV. This one is a smaller one. It's a compact SUV. It's nice. It's, as I mentioned, not fancy. It was 14,000. If I didn't, I think I did mention that to you guys. But overall, right? You think about the cost of owning. Is it gonna be a lot to repair? The cost of repairs. Gas. Does it take premium or regular gas, right? Insurance. Is the insurance going to be higher because of the type of car? These are all things that go into car ownership that unfortunately a lot of people don't think about. They think about the overall cost of the car, monthly payments. That's it. People are like, oh, I could pay this, I could pay that $600, whatever. But then you add on insurance. If you have a nicer car, more features. If you were to get in an accident, the insurance company has to pay more out. So you figure the nicer the car, the more features it has, the more money that your insurance premium will be. So, yeah, those are all things that go into my thought process in regards to buying cars. But as I mentioned, this is my thought process with a lot of things. It's not just the overall, just front face cost, it's the long run. Of course, another thing I do want to mention is yes, I did get a 60-month loan, I believe, a longer term versus 48 months. 48 months. Um, because this is my logic, right? I'm like, okay, my plan is to pay it off within 1 to 2 years. But if something were to happen, I'd rather be able to have an option just to pay my monthly payments, you know? So when I like say forth when I had got the car, I basically quit my job within that same like 30 days, right? And I knew I can do just fine with making those $250 payments. And if I continue to save, because I did have a savings beforehand, but your girl quit her job, her primary full-time job. I'm like, this will work, you know. If I had, you know, put through for a 48-month, my payments would have been like doubled, right? $400, $500. That's something I can't do if something were to happen. So, you know, life happens. You may leave a job, you may get laid off, you may have health issues, you can't work, you probably go on disability, you don't get as much as your full-time pay that you're used to. My whole thought process is like, Candace, yes, the longer term is okay, because if something happens, you can definitely pay this price of the regular monthly payment. If you want to pay it off sooner, you can, but it's like that safety net. You know what I mean? It's a safety net. So yeah, those are all of the things I would say in regards to car shopping. And when I start to car shop for my next car, of course, it's going to be the same exact things. I want basic. I want basic. I don't have to have these bells and whistles of, you know, what do they call those things? Like, parking, self parking, and all of those things. Because if I were to get in an accident, that's going to be more money. And plus, on top of that, insurance is higher. So you figure my son he's 17, he's going to be 18 in July. Right now, for 6 months at a time with Progressive, for my car and his car, I still have full collision on my car. Do I need full collision? No, but it gives me that peace of mind. And plus, when I take it off, it doesn't drop it down by that much. But yes, my 2009 car still has full collision. I just didn't see the price difference being too major if I take that off. But anyways, for me and my son being on the same plan for the past for the past year, so we've had 6 month cycles, it's been roughly around 1,200. It's been lower. One was like $1,090, the other one was 1,100 something. I like to just round it off, let's say 1,200. So yeah, those are a lot of factors that go into place that people just seem to overlook. um you know, I wouldn't want to be in a bind for a car. I know people are doing like some give backs, like, you know, car repossessions and things like that. People just can't afford those monthly payments. Life happens, you know, life does happen. I'm the first person to say that. Y'all have been rocking with me for such a long time. You guys have seen me go to work, you see me leave a job. Mental health, just health in general, life happens. You don't know. I've been in a domestic violence before. I had to leave a job. I had to leave and become homeless because I couldn't go with family, because, you know, things happen. Some things you just can't control. And the things that you can control is your bills, like your what you choose, you know. I don't have to have a fancy car. Okay. I do not. I think about it in the long run. Can me and my son pay 1,100 or $200 for 6 months? That's like what, 100 and something dollar per month. Is it per month? No, it's like 200 per month. Yeah, it's like 200 per month. And you figure I pay 100 and my son pays 100. Now I know mine is not $100, but I just even it out. If my son were to be on his own plan right now, um, if he didn't not have collision, because he doesn't need collision, the car is paid off. His monthly bills will still be around 350, I believe it was. And if he wanted full collision on his car when he's on his own, it'll be like $550. Okay. I would suggest, if you can pay your insurance up or in advance, you do get a nice discount. So I've been able to do that, thank goodness. This one, Progressive, allows me to do that. I think my previous company, which I think was MetLife, they didn't allow me to pay up front. Not that I can recall, but I find ways that I can even cut costs a little bit more. So, saving up throughout, I personally don't save up like a fund for just insurance. I just have a savings, like a free savings that when things come up, I could take out of there. So when that comes around, I do hope that it doesn't go up too much. I always get scared about insurance going up, especially in this day and age. It's crazy how insurance goes up for a lot of people, but we haven't been in an accident. Um, I will say this: my son, his car does have a little damage. I showed you guys. I was thinking I wasn't going to file a claim. And then I was like, you know what? Let me see what they say. It's not anything major. It probably like, when you pull out, or you hit like a little pole on the side when you're, sometimes in the parking lots there's like a pole in front of you, and you are just too close to it. It's like a little nick only on just the one little side. I'm not putting in a claim for that because it's nothing. You can't really tell unless you're looking. I look at Jamet's car, not like every single day, but I look, just to see what's going on. Yeah, I was like, it's not worth me putting in a claim. On top of that, I'm like, is the claim going to affect me? When I'm by myself or when he gets on his own, I wouldn't want there to be a claim and that's going to affect his insurance, you know what I mean? Probably in the long run. Who wants that? So I'm like, it's drives just the same. It's just a little minor defect. You guys know I got in somebody like years ago ran into me. I got the money for it, but I didn't fix my door. The car is still sound. There was no structural damage to like the underbody or anything like that. Nothing was cracked. So I was like, I'm not gonna put money into this. Or they wanted to total it out because they figure the car is not worth much. I'm like, my car is worth everything to me. That was like what, two years ago? I think it was like around 2 years ago. My car's still doing good. Yeah, I did have to put money into it more recently, but I'm like, in my head, I'm like, let's see how far this car goes. And I really do love my car. It's like sentimental for me, but it's not just that. I do enjoy it. It has taken me so far. I will say, like, in the future, when it comes time for me to buy a new car, I went over the information with y'all, what I will look for and why. Cost. I want something that I can pay off as soon as possible. I don't want all the bells and whistles. I don't want that to affect my insurance as much. Um, and just the overall maintenance, the type of gas I have to put in the car. I don't want to have to put premium in there. Gas prices go up, they fluctuate. Right now, they're going back up. Insurance, and just overall, just getting things fixed. Is it a highly cost car where the parts are going to cost more? Even fixing brakes. I know some cars, when you bring it into a shop, especially like the foreign cars, you're walking out with a bill of $1,000. Like, I, I can't afford that. I personally can, but I can't afford that. I only make $52,000 per year. I did get my raise, so I got an extra 2,000 per year. But I do qualify for monthly bonuses, so that definitely brings up my amount. But my overall is 5,200. How much car can I buy today? Today, that will fit in my budget. A lot of these cars are like $30,000. $30,000. I make $52,000. Like, no, I don't want a car to be as much as what I make per year. I just can't. Yeah. Let alone, yes, I could pay over a course of years, but I can't afford a $500 payment. I still need to save up money each and every month. I'm not going to put it into a car. My take on when I do buy a car, when the time comes, I don't think I can buy a used car. I don't think I can, because so many people have these newer cars. First and foremost, the cost of them are just outrageous for the monthly fees, the insurance. Some people just don't even have insurance. Um, but they ride around, and I'm like, it sounds like something's going to like break, like seriously. And I'm just like, every single time I hear these cars, and I'm like, if they hit a pothole, that whole car is gonna like completely fall apart. And it's crazy, because I'm like, wow, I don't want to get into a used car. Yes, it's a newer car, but people can't maintain it the proper way. So I'm like, my best bet is to get a brand new car off the lot. But new cars have issues too. They have recalls. So it's just like, I rather stick with what I know. This is my whole logic, right? I'm not jumping into a new car, because I'm like, there's just so much. I know my car. If I've had it for what, over 10 years. I've had it what for now, what, 12 years? 13 years. 13 years of having my car. This year would be 13 years. I know my car. I know what I put into it. You know what I mean? I know my car. And that itself is a wonderful feeling. To get into a used car for me would be like, I don't know what the previous owner did. My car was not brand new, but it was a one owner. It had 90 something thousand miles on it, but he was a correction officer, so he had to travel a lot. So they were a lot of highway miles, not city miles. Um, so yeah, you guys, oh my goodness. Oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, it's nerve-wracking to see like the prices of things. And I don't, my whole thing is I don't travel as much either. Like me and my son, we used to travel a lot. We would go down to Florida, Georgia, a lot to New York, upstate New York, a lot. And my car has always done wonderful. My son's car probably still has 50 something thousand miles on it currently. And yeah, I'm like, if something were to happen to my car, I don't leave, I don't go anywhere. So I wouldn't even personally be in a rush to get a brand new car, or a car in general. I'm like, I could send Jamez to the store, but I really don't go anywhere. Me and the girls, we may go to the park to walk. But other than that, my car is sitting there. Why would I want to pay a $500 car payment for a car that I'm not going in? And on top of that, my dogs are always with me. Like, I don't need a new car just for dogs to be going to the park. You know, that is just outrageous to me. But this is for me, you guys. This is for me. These are the thoughts that I go to. I'm like, I can't justify doing this. Yes, do I deserve it? Yeah, I think everybody deserves something, right? We all work hard and things like that, but to justify actually pulling the plug and doing it, I can't. I can't. It just doesn't make any logical sense to me. I work from home. I don't have to leave the house. So these are my factors. Some people do have to travel for work, and I understand that you need a reliable car. But for me personally, no. No. So yeah, you guys, I'm happy that I have my car. Do I like putting money into it? No, but at least I know what money I did put into it, and I know how long before I have to replace anything in general. And then, for my son's car, nothing's been going on. He just got rare brakes recently back in January. But yeah, that's been it, you guys. That's been it. Um, but I'm happy to have two paid off cars in the family. That's huge, that's very huge. A huge accomplishment. Um, so yeah, 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 yeah. So those are my thoughts about the car buying process. My thought process that goes into it. It's not just the monthly fees. It's so much more, and I feel like a lot of people don't think about future costs. um I will say, if you're buying a car, know what the insurance will be beforehand. um you know for me, I thought it out for getting my son, or passing down this car, or getting a family car, knowing I was going to pass it down to my son, that whenever he gets out on his own, that his insurance won't be $800 per month. I've already told you guys how much it would be per month for him on his own, with and without full coverage. So it's still costly. But can you just imagine if he had a car that had self parking and all of these things? It would be so much more per month. That's not sustainable for a young child. You know what I mean? A young adult who's trying to start off. So yeah, I know people are probably like, Candace, you overthink things. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's thinking about, how will this affect me in the long run? And if I can help it, I know I can't change things, you know what I mean? I don't have control over things, but the things that I can control, I will do my best to think about it and know the consequences, the plus and the minuses of my decision. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Let me know. Are you guys in the car market? Are you guys thinking about getting a car, whether it's new or used? What are your thoughts? What goes into your car buying process, even in the past? Do you guys think like I do? Let me know. Do you think like I do? Um, if you currently have a car, do you plan on riding it to the wheels fall off? Or are you at a point where it's like, I done put so much money into this car, I might as well get a new car? Let me know. Sometimes I'm gonna say this, I'm like, I'm done, but I'm sticking true to what I said. If it's the engine or transmission that goes out, because that will be a couple of $1,000s, I don't think I will do that, to be honest. I think at that point I would have to let it go. But the way, hopefully, prices for new vehicles start to drop a little bit. And plus, I like to, with some of the newer cars, there's a car that I do have in mind, but it's a newer car. Like when I got Jamez's car, his is a 2018, and when we got it, I think it was what, 2020, and his car was the first version of that car of 2018. That's the first year that they came out with the Hyundai Kona. So there wasn't much to go on, but for the, I look at like reviews, reviews for newer cars, you really can't really tell. So the car that recently that I've been thinking about as like a replacement for my car is new. It just came out in 2024. And yeah, hopefully my car lasts for a couple years to make sure my investment and all of the costs, play out and I get my money's worth out of the car. But that will also give me enough time to figure out how does this other new car that I would like, how does it perform, and the new car still the same, basic, basic. It does, I think, have like lane assist, even on like the plain level. I would get the plain level. Jamez's is not the plain level. His is the next tier up, is the SEL, not the SE. So he does have push to start. And I think that's like the only thing. Oh, and like the heated seats. I think that's the only difference between the lower model. I think they both come with lane assist, but there's 4 versions of Jamez's car, but we got the second tier. But the tier I would get in this newer car would be the bottom tier. I don't need anything extra. And for the other features that the other ones provide, it's really not that much difference besides $10,000 more, which is ridiculous. But I do want to see how it plays out for a couple years of, people mention like driving it and giving their feedback of ownership. So we'll see. But yeah, y'all, I'm done talking. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys have a great week ahead of you. There's some other things I want to talk to you guys about, but that would be for another video. All right, bye.